Hello again, and how are you, dear IELTS candidates? Hope you're fine. Well, in our previous part, we worked on writing specific data and information in paragraph 3 and 4 of Task 1 academic writing. And that was about line graphs and bar charts in trend graphs. And here, in this part, we're going to work on tables and pie charts, writing paragraph 3 and 4 of these two types of questions. Well, we'll start with table. Now, let's take a look at an example here. As you can see on your screen, this is a sample question of table. We worked on this question before writing overview and the first paragraph. It is the table below give information, actually tables, about sales of fair trade labeled coffee and bananas in 1999 and 2004 in 5 European countries. So the time period is 1999 and 2004. So it is trend, it is table and trend. So we're going to analyze the information during the time period, 1999 and 2004. And we have two categories, coffee and bananas. So what we can do here is good analysis of these two tables is that in paragraph 3, we talk about coffee in both time periods. And in paragraph 4, we work on bananas. All right? So this is a good, let's say, analysis. As you can see, in about coffee, so UK, as you can see, increased dramatically. Switzerland increased also. Denmark also increased, however, that was very, let's say, minimal. And Belgium also increased, and Sweden increased too. So all these, let's say, 5 countries increased in their sales of bananas from 1999 to 2004. So we start, first of all, remember that any division you make, you should mention in your first sentence. If your division is based on the two, let's say, categories here, so you should mention. How can we mention, for example, you can start your sentence regarding coffee. So in this case, you tell the examiner that I'm referring to data and information about coffee. So we start our paragraph 3 with this. Regarding coffee, Switzerland was the most profitable in 1999. All right, that was 3, right? So as you can remember, talking about details, you should talk about the most in the beginning, right? And the most, let's say, increase. These are the things that you should mention. So in 1999, the most profitable was Switzerland's, and I mentioned here. So again, I read the sentence again. Regarding coffee, Switzerland was the most profitable in 1999, yielding 3 million euros. However, in 2004, although it had doubled its sales, as you can see, that was double, right? From 3 to 6. Although it had doubled its sales, it was far outranked by the UK, which soared from just 1.5 million euros in 1999 to a whopping 20 million euros in 2004. This is how I analyze data, how you should analyze data. So working on 2 countries in just only 1 sentence. So I mentioned that Switzerland, although it doubled its sales from 3 to 6, However, it was far outranked by the UK. Now I'm referring to UK. The beginning point was 1.5, and in 2004 that was 20, right? Now let's turn to Denmark and Sweden, which experienced the same increase, however minimal. Conversely, why I use the word conversely here? Because I'm not talking about huge increase here. I'm talking about minimal increase, right? So I'm using conversely. Conversely, Denmark and Sweden experienced minimal growth, and Belgium experienced a modest increase from €1 million in 1999 to 1.5 million euros in 2004. About Denmark and Sweden, I can also write the beginning point and ending point too. However, when you say that the growth was minimal, there is no need actually to write exact data about these two countries, right? All right, now let's talk about bananas. As you can see, bananas, the highest or the most profitable country was Switzerland, right? Again, that was Switzerland. And it increased to 47. In 2004, again, Switzerland was the most profitable country regarding bananas. And again, UK increased, Belgium increased, Sweden and Denmark were two countries that they decreased their sales in bananas from 1999 to 2004. Now, I start my sentence into paragraph 4 with considering bananas, that I'm referring to bananas here. Switzerland not only earned the highest revenue in 1999, I can use in parentheses here the data, 15 million euros. But it also more than tripled its sales in 2004. If we triple 15, that would be 45. So this is 47. So I can say more than tripled its sales. The UK and Belgium made modest growth from an average of 0.8 million euros in 1999 to around 4.3 million euros in 2004, while Sweden and Denmark both declined, right, by a factor of about €1 million. So any difference in the table should be mentioned. So what is the difference? The two countries, Sweden and Denmark, which decreased their sales, all right? And any modest growth should also be mentioned. The two countries that have the modest growth should be mentioned here. So I mentioned and I wrote all the necessary information and data here. So this is a very good analysis of data in both paragraph 3 and paragraph 4. Now let's move on to another example. Let's work on pie chart. As you can see on your screen, this is another sample question of pie chart. We work on this pie chart that was, let's say, ages of populations in Yemen and Italy in 2 years, 2000 and 2050. So 2000 is the past tense and 2050 is the future tense. So beware of the difference in tenses here. So what we're going to do here, you can two choice here, to divide the pie chart by country or divide it by date. For example, you can divide by country, talking about Yemen in paragraph 3 and Italy in paragraph 4, or in paragraph 3, you can talk about 2000 in both countries and 2050 in both countries. It's up to you. I'm going to divide it here by country. So in paragraph 3, I will talk about Yemen, and in paragraph 4, I'll talk about Italy. So if we want to talk about Yemen in paragraph 3, we should say that we are going to talk about Yemen. So we start our sentence with this, considering Yemen. All right. So the most notable age group in 2000 was 15 to, sorry, 0 to 14 years. That was about half, right? 50.1%. So we talk about this huge amount of, let's say, age group. So considering Yemen, the most notable age group in 2000 were 0 to 14-year-olds who formed the majority at 50.1%. Ages 15 to 59-year-olds also comprised a significant portion of Yemen's population in 2000 at 46.3% and are projected to constitute the majority at 57.3% by 2050. Members over 60 years of age formed the smallest group. So as you can see, that was the smallest group at only 3.6% in 2000 and are estimated to slightly rise to 5.7% in 2050. Actually, writing about data here in pie chart is pretty easy. In contrast to tables that you are provided with a lot of information here, you only have 3 categories, 3 age groups. And so you can easily talk about or write about details here. So what you do is you talk about the highest or the most and the least. And you should see that in the future, in 2050, if that, let's say, if the most still remained the most or no, it decreased, you should mention this. This is what we mean by specific idea and information here. Now let's turn to another to our next paragraph, which is about Italy. So we start our sentence with regarding Italy, all right? Regarding Italy. In 2000, so the majority was 15 to 59-year-olds. 15 to 59-year-olds constituted the majority at 61.6%, whereas 0 to 14-year-olds formed the minority at 14.3%. So in our first sentence, we mentioned the most and the least. It is forecasted that by 2050, 15 to 59-year-olds will still comprise the majority, though they will decline in size to 46.2%, while 0 to 14-year-olds will shrink to 11.5%. So as you can see here in this paragraph, we skipped the growth of 60 plus year olds in 2050, right? Why? Because it is not necessary to talk about all the details here. You should talk about the most notable change in both time period. The most in 1990 and the most in 2000 and the most in 2050. The least, the biggest change, if that was increase or decrease. That is specific data and information. However, if you mention 60 plus year olds here in Italy, that would not be incorrect, right? So you can also talk about 60 plus year olds here in Italy too. But I skipped this information since that was not necessary to talk about this because that was not huge change. We're only talking about huge changes here. All right, that's it. That's let's say the end of our today's session. We worked on another trend graph, and our next part will be about comparative graph. We worked on trend graph up to now. On our previous session, what the data that we had was about during a time period. However, our comparative graphs will be a little more challenging compared to trend graphs that we will work on in our next part. And next part will be about comparative bar chart and tables. So until next time, stay tuned and goodbye.